Meredith, and we're back with tie-dye today. This is the kit that I'm using. It's just the beginner kit for tie-dyeing. Today we're going to tie-dye flour sack cloths. They're just a regular, all 100% cotton towel, and we're going to make this peace sign. It's a peace sign and a swirl, and we'll make this peace sign. Oh, we'll make this peace sign with a bullseye. Stay tuned.
That one's good. And this one is good too.
Okay, we are back. We've got a wet towel that's been spun through a washing machine, and today we're going to do a tie-dye project where we're going to do a peace sign. So I'm going to lay this on here. And you got to excuse me, there we go. I had to get a marker that fell off the table. So we've got this line. And we want to get out all the big major creases. Now with the peace sign, I went ahead and I drew a template. This is to line up on the folded edge, and then this comes up to give me the window. So, going to kind of do this. This is the first template I've made of the peace sign. Next time I think I'm going to go a little bigger, but I was looking for a t-shirt. If you get good enough and you want to make, like these are dish towels, if you want to make several towels and that you want them to all be the same, the template's the way to go, and all that's doing is just making sure whatever general shape you have, as long as it's mirror image, can be used, but all of them are basically the same. And as you can see, that's half of it. Now usually on just like a heart or something that's general shape, you're just only going to have that line, but whenever you've got the pieces in the middle for a peace sign or a skeleton, a skull face, you're going to have to work from the inside out. And these, I'm just going to go in and I'll work to a point that I can't work anymore with it, and then I'll have to come back and just on the big part, I'm going to just kind of pull it out so it looked like a little bullseye. If you've ever made a bullseye tie-dye, that's kind of what this is going to look like. And I'm just basically following along, pleating at the pink line. So there's one done, and we've got this one to do next. And when I come to a point, it's usually just easier for me to start in on the other side and to make that flat line. Well, I'm going to have to pick it up. And because it's an outline, or you want to make sure that the rubber band you're using is super tight on it so the colors don't leak and merge. Okay, so you've got the two that are already done, and you see the lines already setting up and lining up to do the outside, so we're in good shape. And we're just going to come in and line it up, take a rubber band and rubber band it. Let's see. I think from here on out I'm going to try something a little different. And I'm going to take this, and after this I think I'm just going to pull it around and make it into a swirl pattern and just see how that goes. I hadn't ever done it with the swirl at the end. Just remember, when you're tie-dyeing, it's going to be a little awkward because you're going to have to pull some pieces out. I'm going to pull this piece up so that the peace sign is separate, but then it ends up in a swirl. The beauty of tie-dye is you know what colors you're starting with, but the design is all between how you fold it. And okay, now we're going to color. I have a hot pink, a light pink, a yellow, a green, and a teal. And I'm going to use them in this color pattern, and the reason is when you tie-dyeing, you know, on the color wheel, whatever's opposite of the color makes a brown. So we don't want to have a brown project. And you'll have a little brown here and there, but we're going to try to do it kind of the way of the color wheel. Those are the colors we're going to be using. This is a peace sign I did off camera. Here's the peace sign pieces, and then we'll just have different rows of color afterwards. And then this is the fun part. You just kind of decide what colors you want to work with and what colors you like. I think I'm going to make the small, well, I got pink on it, so this part's going to be the pink, and now we're just going to put some color in it. We'll push back on the other side and roll color. You're more than welcome to use gloves. Every kit that you buy comes with gloves. I usually just don't make a big mess, but I take an old towel that I have, and as I do it, I'm going to have, that will end up being colored. And I'll take the light pink and I'll go to and do the small one. Should have taken the caps off earlier, so I'm not making a big mess, but it's a little bit of a different pink. I want to make sure that that's good. Then I'm going to come back, and for the body of the peace sign, I think I'm going to do the teal. I know we just talked briefly about the color wheel, but I want to give it a little bit of dementia. So I think I said dimension. I meant dimension. But as you can see right here, there's going to be a little brown, but it'll be okay. So from here on out, we'll do the color scheme. Doesn't matter if you use your handy dandy gloves or not, you're still going to get different colors, different places on your project. That's part of the fun. I'm going to come in. Usually you start with your light colors first, but when you've got a project kind of like this one, I try to start with the what color's next? Try to start with the actual very center of your project before coloring the rest of it. Now you can choose to use whatever colors you want. It's nothing set in stone. You can use 2 different colors of the same color family. Like you can do all blues, and you take and not add a whole packet of color, and you can add more water to the color and make a lighter color and have a monochromatic color scheme. It's whatever you like. That's the fun of tie-dyeing, as you can get a little bit of everything possible. Now you can use liquid dyes, you can do powdered dyes, whatever you get used to and you like. Everything's possible, or anything's possible. think I'm going to just do one side for a moment and quit putting color fingerprints everywhere. I color around the rubber bands just to make where it bleeds, the color bleeds across. Makes it a little easy, a little good. At any point, if you want a super big bright color band, you just make it all the way a big long color. I think I'm going to end on the green, so we'll pull the green all the way out. Now I'm doing this on a table. Of course you can do it on a grate or whatever you've got. I do mine outside, so there's not a whole lot of trouble cleaning up. It's real easy. Okay, so I've finished the color on the back side, the same color pattern as the front. Now at this point you're going to leave your tie-dye to set, the color to set for 6 to 12 hours. So I put it in a bag so that way I can get it put up out of the way, because I keep everything outside and it stays clean until I'm ready to wash out the color. Alright, we are back. This is the other peace sign that I did, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the bottom first, and I'm just going to draw a line. I'm going to come here and I'm going to do the line on the other side. Then I'm going to come and put some pink on the side of it. I'm going to do some pink on it. And all I'm doing is just kind of working my way around. I'll do some of the darker red pink on the other side. As you can see, as I'm spinning, I'm dropping color, so just kind of be careful with it. That's why you can use a grate if you feel like that will help you a little better. As you can see, there's starting to be some brown that's coming through with some of the pink and the green. But it's tie-dye. It's supposed to be a fade of color to color, so it'll be fine. Oh, I got too far from you. Let's do a little here and thicken that band up. Thicken this band up. Then we'll come back with a little bit of yellow. Some more yellow. Now, I'm going to try to flip it over. You see how there's no color to it? Let's add, we'll dip it and just get color smashes, but let's add just the red. Kind of interested to see how the red's going to come out and play. Now, we're going to tie-dye the peace sign centers. I'm going to do yellow on this side. And maybe a little of the pink. And I'll do the teal band, the layer. Now, this one I'll be ready to bag it. I'm going to bag this separate in the bottom. Alright, welcome back. We are going to wash out the peace signs, and I probably didn't show you how I wrapped it, but on this one that we did the swirl and the peace sign, I kept it separate. There's the peace sign part, and down here at the very bottom is going to be our swirl part. So we're going to now wash it out. We've got to be a little careful with the top, so I'm going to start with the bottom. Remember, the bottom we did colors, and then we just put a solid color on the very bottom. Right now it's got a lot of yellow and orange that's coming through. Washing out. Trying to get a lot of the excess color out of the bottom before we take the rubber bands off. I like using rubber bands because you can stretch it around and pull and get the water to where the color's been pulled at. This, of course, was done with a template. Anything that you can think of that's symmetrical, you just make half of it and put it on the fold, and it will come out looking a general overall shape. I'm going to go ahead and I'm washing this little top part out before I start removing some of the rubber bands. I think the bottom color's enough off that we'll take the rubber band. You can see this, maybe you can see the swirl is coming out with what the very center of the peace sign will be the center of the swirl. When you're ready for the reveal, we're going to look at it together at the same time. Of course, you can do the peace sign all the same color if you would want. I like it all different. There's our peace sign. We'll get it. We're going to put it in this bucket right here. It's got a half a cup to a quarter cup of vinegar and enough water to cover the project, and we'll let it sit for 30 minutes or longer if you're like me and you got kids and you forget about it. But I'm just going to give it a little swirl and we'll let that set, and then we'll put it in a washing machine and wash it on a delicate cycle. If you use hot water, it's going to pull the color out faster if I'm rinsing it out in hot water. So I use regular water, and then in the washing machine, I don't ever use hot water on tie-dye, but you can if you want. This is the second peace sign that I tied up for you. This is the peace sign part, and then that's going to be the tail that comes off of it. So let's get to wash this out so we can see what this one looks like. If you're enjoying the tie-dyes, then please like and subscribe to our channel. If you want to see a different pattern or a different type of tie-dye, just leave a comment below. Tie-dyeing is one of our favorite things to do around here. Alright, I'm going to start unbanding it. I can't wait. You can see where the rubber band was mediumly tight. This was loose. This was super tight. You see where the color didn't come through. But that's the beauty of tie-dye, is it decides what it wants to look like. Alright, you ready to see it? I am. I know you can't see it good, but oh, you can see it. That's it. We're going to let this color set. We'll wash it and I'll show you whenever we get done with it. This is the first peace sign that came out. It was pretty cool. This is the spiral effect of the peace sign. Again, you can do both. All three of these the same color, or you can do it separate. Then this is the other peace sign we did. You notice how by doing it long you got solid bands of color rather than the swirl. Those are the difference. If you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and come back for more. Leave a comment on any questions or anything you'd like to do in the future. Thanks for watching.